Salutations, adventurers! Welcome to Roll for Felicity, where we play serialized one-shots in a multitude of systems with assorted players, and today I have just such an assortment of players. We are playing the game Petal Paladins. If you've been following the channel for a little while, then you might be familiar with the game Succulent Sorcerers, because we played that on stream before. And if that's the case, you might recognize one of the faces here. But if you are new here, my name is Taylor. I use she, her pronouns. And this is my channel, where we play a bunch of different tabletop games. I'll go into a little more detail about the game we're playing today in just a minute, but first, I'm going to let my guests introduce themselves, and we're going to start with Lexi. Lexi, do you want to introduce yourself to chat?
Hi, I'm Lexi. My pronouns are she, her. I'm Lexi. I have been playing tabletop RPG since high school, and the last few years I've really been interested in branching out to different systems and playing on streaming games, so that's what I'm doing. I'm also a musician and skateboarder, hypothetically. I haven't really been skating much or playing much since the pandemic, but those are definitely parts of my personality in theory.
Yeah, I feel that. I have a lot of theoretical parts of my personality right now. It's like, theoretically, I'm a people person. But, yeah. Tisha, do you want to introduce yourself to everyone, or reintroduce, as the case may be?
Hi, I'm Tisha, she, her pronouns. I do a whole variety of D&D things, from Curses Strahd to homebrew, like Digimon campaigns to you name it. I was also in Succulent Sorcerers playing the cactus, so I'm excited to be back.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you back.
Mm-hmm.
And Joel, do you want to introduce yourself to everyone?
No, I don't.
Oh,
hello, everyone.
Well.
I'm kidding. I'm Joel. I use they, them pronouns. I am more often than not guesting in other people's content rather than making my own, because that's easier and less pressure. But I play TTRPGs and video games sometimes, and I write. That's kind of my thing.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I'm excited to have you on. Speaking of games, things being easier work than other things, this game that we're playing today, Petal Paladins, if you're looking for something easy to run, this system is very easy. It's a micro RPG. It's technically, I think, 2 pages, but super, super easy as a player or as a DM. I just have, like, kind of one little page of notes. And in the game, the characters are all plants who are following different orders, as paladins are wont to do, to protect other flowers that are that basically need their help. And that's basically what we're going to be doing today, is playing this game. There are some links in chat if you want to have this game for yourself. There's some links to buy the game or to support the creator Diwata Nung Manila. And their games are all really, really fun. Succulent Sorcerers, this one, and then there's, I think, 2 other planted games. There's Mossy Mechanics and Bonsai Brawlers, and I think you can get them all in a bundle on itch. But there's,
So cool.
Yeah, there's a lot. They're very fun games, and very pick up and play, I would say. And I think, and also I put links for where you can find the rest of the players that I have guessing here today, places where you can find them. And hang on one second. With that, I think it's time for us to get into our game tonight. Let me scroll over my notes. The 3 of you are Petal Paladins, sworn to protect the field of flowers you call home. Each one of you have unique gifts afforded to you by honoring your oaths. You live in a field of flowers that always has something blooming, no matter the time of year. It's up to the 3 of you to protect the flowers weaker than yourselves from bugs, the elements, or anything that could bring harm to a flower. But instead of starting our story in that field, we actually are going to begin in a dream. Gira Sol, you are dreaming of the first moment that you pledged yourself to be a Petal Paladin. The moment you first felt the power of the light pass down to you from the very first light dweller, Helianthus. And what was that moment like for Gira Sol?
I think it was underwhelming for Gira Sol, because it builds up to, you know, a whole life of training, a whole life of preparation, and then it's just like, here, it's your turn now, and then it's just like, oh, this is now what I have to do, I guess. And she expected it to be something more grandiose, more impressive, but it helped her be a little bit more humble, because now she realizes that she's not there to just be great, but help others, and there. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remembered something I forgot to do. So after we do this little intro, I'm gonna have to circle back because I forgot like 3 things I was gonna say before we started. But I will get back to that. What kind of flower is Gira Sol? What does she look like?
Oh yeah, she's a sunflower. It's a very pretty, very tall, very bulky sunflower.
Yeah. So yeah, you're having this dream of that first moment where like it was all of your life was leading up to this, and then you felt the power of being a Lightbringer, and it was just like, oh, okay. It's like on your birthday, like when you have like a big birthday, and then it's like, oh, I actually like kind of feel the same. Like,
yeah, it's when you finally turn 21 and you're
yeah.
like, it's the same thing.
It's just more of the same shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Dandi, you too are dreaming of the first moment that you pledged yourself to the Order of the Stone-Willed and felt the strength of old chicory running through your roots. What was that moment like for Dandi?
That was a kind of an enlightening moment because, she had been in so much danger for so long, and she had to deal with that cycle of, sunny yellow like the sunflowers, fading to the white seedlings that fly away on the wind. And that kind of cycle can be harsh on the flower. But, hearing through the stream the strength of old chicory and feeling that flowing through her is what keeps her going through this devastating cycle of death and rebirth.
Yeah. And people might be able to guess, but what type of flower is Dandi?
She's a dandelion. Dandelion, just like all the other Order of the Stone-Willed.
Yeah.
First line of defense.
Yeah, so you're having this dream where you're going through your life cycle and grounding yourself in your strong roots. And while you're having that dream, Rose, unsurprisingly, you also find yourself in a dream of the moment you knew in your thorns that you were born to pledge yourself to the Order of the Abundant Hand, and heard the voice of Dahlia, the first of your order, telling you the oath you must follow. And what was that moment like for Rose?
So Rose, obviously, as her name implies, she is a rose. She was pledged to this order, and it was this moment of like, yes, I knew that this was like my calling. And it was when she was just a little bud, and Dahlia came to her and was like, you were going to grow up to be beautiful and spread the beauty. Or maybe it was more so that like, it was like, okay, we're going to try you out, kid. But she probably blew it up more in her mind of like, this is the representation of beauty, is the roses. So she took it to heart.
Yeah. So your characters are all having this dream, whatever it's like when flowers sleep, whatever that is for you all, but you're having these dreams of, what your life has been like up until this moment, and that moment of feeling this power and feeling this responsibility. And you're each having your own individual dreams, but suddenly in your dream, the 3 of you find yourselves standing next to each other in Everbloom Field, which is the field where you live and the field that you're sworn to protect. It's a beautiful day, but something feels off. As you're looking around, the bees are nowhere to be found. The other flowers are still in quiet, in a feeling of anxious expectation, And then, all around you, the plants you are sworn to protect are plucked, snatched by giant human hands. It's all happening so quickly. There's nothing you can do in that moment. The field is quickly emptied of flowers. You feel yourselves rooted in place with fear. It's one of those things in dreams where you're like, I need to move, but I can't. The field is quickly emptied of flowers except for the three of you, surrounded by trampled and upturned dirt. Your friends are all gone. And then you wake up, each hearing the voices of the first in your order. Helianthus, the sunflower who first fueled his strength by turning to the light. Old Chicory, the blue flower, who could be cut down again and again, but her roots were ever resolute. And Dahlia, whose beauty and fresh scent was intoxicating to anyone around her. They each speak to you, saying, "This is the day we called you for. Everbloom Field needs your help." And that's where we will begin our story. You are all waking up in your respective places. What do you think is the first thing that you kind of do as you wake up?
Rose starts her... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Okay, Rose starts her morning care routine where she gets like the water and freshens up her petals and like checks on the other roses before making her way, worried about this dream, especially because stress causes very much wrinkling of the petals. You have to be careful of that.
Yeah, so you're doing your morning routine, but your mind is somewhere else.
Yeah.
What about Dandi?
Dandi leaps to her roots and looking around, breathing heavily, making sure that the rest of the dandelions are nice and safe. She shakes herself. A couple little poofy seeds kind of come off. And she says, "Okay." She heads off to find Gira Sol and Rose. Yeah. She knows that whatever just happened, she's going to need those two.
Yeah. What about Gira Sol? What's your wake up moment?
Gira Sol is gonna wake up and just stare at the sun for longer than she probably needs to. And then she's gonna head to visit the flowers that she cares for that are typically like the weaker ones, and she's just gonna make sure that they're okay before doing anything else.
Yeah. So you're all doing that, and then I am going to really quickly do something that I forgot to do when we started off because I was just so excited to get started. The icebreaker question I told you about, we'll revisit that when we come back from break. So keep in mind, I did have an icebreaker question, I forgot. But I will take the second to let chat know there are a couple of things you can do during the stream to help us out. The first thing that you can do is if there's a moment during the stream that you think would be fun to see on TikTok, Twitter, etc., you can put ~ marker in the chat, and that will make a stream marker for me when I go back and pull clips. I can know, like, oh, this was a moment that people thought was good. You can also see in chat I have some tip incentives. So if you want to affect what happens during the game, for 100 bits, you can pick one player and give them advantage on a roll. For 200 bits, you can give all 3 players advantage on a roll. Or for 500 bits, I will add an NPC based on a flower of your choice to the game. So if you have a favorite flower that you want to see in Everbloom Field for 500 bits, you can do that. You can also tip the cash equivalent at my Ko-Fi, which is also linked in chat. And the last thing that you can do to help the game is be here watching, which you're already doing. And I really appreciate everybody in chat. Melanie, Mila, Sierra, Sleepchild already said hello. But hello to all of you. And also Mila and Melanie, my mods. Thank you for being here. Was supposed to do that when we first started, and I completely forgot. So with that, we'll jump back into the narrative, which is the three of you are kind of getting your days started. Dandi, you're the first the first dandelion awake. The rest of your compatriots are still sleeping. Do you think all of you have or do you think all of you are in the same cycle right now with the the seed pods, or do you think you're all in different places, kind of?
No, everybody's in a different place. Sometimes it's age, but Dandi is well known for being in the seed pod phase for a while now. Most dandelions go, back and forth, but something about Dandi's disposition just keeps her in that dramatic, wispy, old-looking kind of stage.
Yeah, so you're looking around. You see some other dandelions like yourself who have some of the wispies. You also see their flower buds still tightly closed, some starting to open, some fully in bloom. All of them a little bit like in the early morning when plants have not quite like woken up yet. When you see like those like time. I don't know, I can't think of the word. But when you see the things go in fast motion when it's slow motion, I don't know why.
Time lapse,
yeah. When you see the time lapse of plants when they're like all droopy and then through the day they kind of get up. All of the other dandelions are still asleep as you're looking around, and some of them are kind of starting to stretch a little bit and rustle awake. But none of them they all seem to be sleeping peacefully. It doesn't seem like any of them had a dream similar to the one that you had.
I better find Gira Sol and Rose.
Yeah. I'm imagining this is like a Star Wars like wipe Star thing. You say that and then it cuts over to let's say Rose. You're primping yourself and getting ready. Are there any flowers that you're specifically like wanting to talk to, or are you just kind of preoccupied and thinking about how you need to find these other two flowers?
I think as she is like primping, she is kind of like come on, Roses, it's our honor, come on, you got to bloom up, like you cannot just stay like this, come on, we gotta be beautiful.
But
so like she's very
sleep.
Yes, but if we're not beautiful during the daytime, then it's for nothing. Come on, up, move, girls. So she's very much like snapping them to attention, getting them to like bloom up a little bit, and the whole time she's got in the back of her mind like, I gotta go find Wispy Girl and the one that stares at the sun all day. Like trying to like get everything in order.
Yeah.
Like a little slightly dreading it a little bit, like
Yeah.
Not sure how she's gonna deal with these two, but once she gets all the other roses in order, then she makes her way out like in a hustle.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for humans, you should not wake up and immediately stare at the sun, but for sunflowers, it's a little bit different. Also, Melanie, thank you for the $5. Let me know.
Nice.
In my email, it doesn't tell me whatever you told me on Ko-Fi, so let me know in chat what flower you want me to include, and I'll include an NPC of that flower.
I think sorry, I think
no, go ahead.
Real quick for Rose, because like the whole concept of staring at the sun, I think because roses are very like sensitive to too much sunlight, it does not connect to like being staring at the sun all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I imagine Gira Sol is because she like kind of worships the sun, but also she just can't handle her life waking up that early. So she's just like
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure everyone has those mornings where they want to just wake up and stare at the sun, even if they.
It's kind of like when you're in the shower.
Yeah.
When you're in that shower with the hot
yeah.
water, and you just don't want to get started with your day, so you're just like with water for no reason.
So yeah, Gira Sol, you take some time to do that. But then you mentioned you had other plants that you want to help. Do you think do you have an idea for like what type of little plants that you would normally be in your charge?
I think she would. I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about plants. But I'm assuming she would be more inclined to help the ones that are like small, that can easily be like outgrown or overshadowed by others, and she makes space so they can get their own sunlight and.
Yeah, I think
so.
I think there's a type of flower that I really like that's called alyssum. That's like used as borders a lot of times because it grows really close to the ground and it has these little teeny tiny flowers. And I imagine that would be like maybe what you're
Probably
taking care of. So you're do you think you're still like adolescent sunflower? Do you think you're like full height? How tall do you think you are compared to some of the other plants?
Definitely taller than most since sunflower, but also I'm tall for normal flowers, but like super short for regular sunflowers.
Yeah.
So I'm like caught in the middle there, kind of like teenager probably.
Yeah,
a little bit
yeah.
of
Yeah, because sunflowers can get
angst.
to be like, you know, like 7,
tall.
8, I don't know, like 10 feet tall. They can get really, really tall.
For
so
sure.
you're maybe like, I don't know, like maybe like 3 feet, something like that.
I'd say so, yeah. That would be
Yeah.
cool.
So yeah, you're still, I mean, towering over these little alyssum plants as you're taking care of them and like pushing other plants in the way or out of the way and being like, hey.
Yeah. Excuse me. I need to let these little ones get their sunlight. Excuse me.
Yeah, we need sunlight too. Don't crowd over us just because we're small.
See, I told you they needed sunlight.
Yeah, some of the other plants are just kind of grumbling but moving out of the way.
I imagine.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how you're spending your morning. But Dandi, you are on a mission to find these other two, and I think you find them pretty quickly, especially because Rose is known to start her morning by whipping the other roses into shape, and I imagine Gira Sol is also has kind of a routine of helping out these smaller flowers.
Well, if the roses and the sunflowers are already waking up, then on the way there, she's probably just like kicking at some of her like lieutenant's roots and stuff. Like, get up, sun's up, come on, it's a big day. I'll explain later.
Sitting straight up, and they're like, yes, ma'am, and like springing up to attention.
Get on, do some laps. You know what happens when I wake up before you.
They're like, yeah, we gotta do laps, and so they're like, some of them are doing like jumping jacks immediately. I mean, these dandelions are immediately jumping into action, waking each other up, and it's very like, you're the one, like, you wake someone else up, and then they're like, well, I'm kind of in charge of that dandelion, so they go over and wake them up. So as you're going through, all these dandelions are waking up. But yeah, you find, I'll just say for the sake of convenience, you find Rose and Gira Sol kind of, you know, close to the same place, and you're all kind of keeping an eye out for each other anyway. So Dandi, what do you want to say to when you see these other two, or if you all just want to jump into a conversation that the three of you are having as you meet up? Either one is good.
Gira Sol, Rose, I imagine you've both felt the change in the wind as well.
Yes, I suppose it wasn't just a dream. Couldn't be that lucky.
You had it too.
Me 3.
Yes.
I thought as much.
Have you two been getting your sun in? It's important to get some sunlight. From
Yes, we all have our sunshine. It's fine. I just don't understand what it can mean, these creatures stealing flowers away. It's barbaric.
Well, whatever it is, we need to be ready for it. And I'm afraid, Sol, that no amount of sun is gonna keep us from that kind of tragedy. She looks off kind of into the wind, and a few more seasons blow off.
With enough sun, anything is possible. And Sol is going to look at the sun thoughtfully.
Hey, head in the clouds. Back down here.
Right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both staring into the distance.
Rose is just like, back to the task at hand.
Well, the dandelions are already rousing. They got up after your roses this time. I don't know what that says about them, but we'll whip them into shape by the time whatever happens comes. You noticed anything out of the ordinary? Either of you? Besides the, omen in our sleep,
The roses are performing as expected, but I have not seen anything from the other flowers quite yet.
I just woke up.
Is there any way to look around and get kind of what things look like at the moment?
Yeah.
Can we make a perception check?
There's no perception check, which is good news and bad news. Bad news, there's not a specific mechanic, but good news is, in this game, if you're doing something normal, it just kind of happens. The assumption is, which I know the three of you know, I'm saying more for the benefit of chat. The mechanics of this game are pretty much like if something would be reasonable for you to do, you do it. So yeah, you three look around. And I think Rose, the thing that you notice that's out of the ordinary is the peonies seem very bent out of shape. They're all kind of like whispering to each other, and like, the peonies are already kind of gossipy. They seem like very like, catty about something right now. So you definitely notice that. And Dandi, I think you're kind of thinking about like, okay, so I've got the dandelions whipped into shape, or at least starting to, and you're kind of thinking of like, who else could we maybe enlist to like help with this? And there is a plant that you think of, who is, the Rambler Rose, and she's a type of wild rose, and she's like huge sprawling plant, and you're thinking like, oh, that could maybe be, if we could get her help, maybe that could be like, she could be a barrier to like people coming to this field. So you know where she is, and you're thinking like, okay, maybe we could do that. And Gira Sol, you're thinking about what other resources there could be, if there's anything strange that's been going on. And you think of something that maybe makes your heart sink a little bit, because there's a plant that you know of who could maybe help you all out, but they live in the shadiest part of the field. They live where all of the shade-loving plants live. This very old hosta, who maybe would know something about these creatures that you saw.
I'm just gonna Google that real quick. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have a picture of one. I wonder if I can put it in Zoom.
I have already used all of my flower knowledge in creating.
I did used to work at a greenhouse, so I actually have a bit of plant knowledge. So I put a link to. Oh, actually, I don't know what that might be a link that you might not be able to get, because it went to my Notion instead of to the original link. Let me do this one. It's probably.
To be fair, I am learning a lot about flowers now, so that's pretty cool.
There you go.
It'll be a good life skill for later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
shit, that looks
the
dope.
second link I posted should be the hosta. Yeah.
Cool.
So there's this hosta that maybe could help you out, but like you'd have to go into the part of the field where there's not very much sun. So that's kind of the thing that occurs to each of you as you're looking around and like thinking about like, what can we do to stop this horrible thing from happening?
I better go see what the peonies are tittering about, and then she'll like just turn in a flourish and strode her way over.
Yeah. Are the two of you going along with Rose, or are you gonna split up, or what's the plan?
Trying to think of why Dandi would want to go talk to the peonies. Oh, because she gets out her little little leaf that she writes down notes on. She's doing like she's compiling notes. That's what she's doing. All right, wait for me. Little tiny roots just.
Oh, I guess we're going. Let's go. I'll just trail behind.
Yeah. You make your way over to the peonies, who are a part of the Order of the Abundant Hand, which is the same order that Rose is in. Not all the peonies, but like a lot of peonies are also these paladins in the same order. Rose, you come striding over to see what's going on with these peonies, and like it's that thing of like as soon as you're within earshot, they're all like don't talk anymore.
So I think she would probably one that she knew as like leader of this little clique. I don't know what her name would be.
Yes,
unless
there is one who's like kind of the leader of the clique, and her name is Belle.
Yeah, it is.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
I'll post a link in the Zoom chat as to what Belle looks like. Actually, I'll post it in the Twitch chat too.
That's a good idea. I need to see. Oh, that's gorgeous.
So yeah, Belle is this kind of burgundy peony with these beautiful flowers. And she says, good morning, Rose. What can I do for you?
Oh, good morning, Belle. I see you're with your peonies. How are they? How's the blooming?
Oh, we're all doing great, we're keeping beautiful, just as our order demands, and, you're looking a little, your petals are looking a little bit, flustered. Is everything okay?
Oh, sometimes things can be a little stressful, but I keep it beautiful. I've been doing my routine. How are you? I noticed that your peonies are, they're tittering a little bit. Are they getting enough nutrients? They seem to be shaking.
Need sun.
They look at Gira. Rose looks at Gira, or not Rose. Sorry, Belle looks at Gira and looks at Dandi, kind of coming over too. And they're like, "Oh, what strange company you're keeping today, Rose." But it's just the normal, the drama, the huge. There's always something going around in Everbloom Field, but there's no need to worry your mind about it.
Oh, let me do this again. How's the hot goss? What's new? I forgot. That's the language they speak around here, isn't it?
Dandi just leans over to Sol. Is it okay if I call you Sol? Or do you want me to call you Sol?
Sol's fine.
Sol. Dandi leans over to Gira Sol. Whatever. I'm gonna switch back. Dandi leans over and says,
just call her whatever, it's fine.
I don't understand what's happening right now.
Gira Sol crouches and goes, I think they're talking.
Rose, you say, what's the hot goss? And Belle looks like it's that meme of like the guy with like the vein in class, like leaning forward as soon as you say that. she's like, okay, if you put it that way, there's this plant who's kind of causing some problems because she keeps kind of butting in where she's not wanted. And, our order is all about, being beautiful, and the flowers of the field, we want them to be beautiful. And this plant, I won't even say flower because I don't even think she does flower, keeps just bothering everyone. She's bothering the jewel weeds. She's always trying to grow up next to them. She's always trying to sneak her way in. And so we're just kind of talking about what we can do to honestly, to get rid of her.
Who is it? Is she dangerous?
She's not, I don't know if she's dangerous. She's stinging nettle. If she gets too close to you, you can get a bit of a sting, which, Rose, I'm sure you can identify with that. But I wouldn't say she's dangerous, except in the fact that it's dangerous to look at her because it just hurts my soul to see.
Oh, like, girl,
like
I
that.
so know. That's soul. Gotta have beauty. And Anyways, where is this plant?
Well, she's been kind of creeping up where all those peonies hang out, and she kind of like looks over her shoulder, and you can see the stinging nettle is like within earshot of this conversation. Like they're all talking about her, and she is like basically right there. Kind of looks like, you know, like she's compacting herself, kind of shrunken down a little bit.
Oh.
And Bella's just like, she just doesn't seem to be getting the hint.
Is this the first we're seeing the stinging nettle?
I think it's up to you. I think she hasn't been able to get a good foothold here because the peonies keep kind of pushing her out wherever she tries to grow and thrive. But if one of you wants to, or if any of you want to have encountered stinging nettle before, like, that's fine with me. Especially, I think Dandi, it would make sense since you're both kind of, you know, weeds, I guess.
One second.
Okay.
I think Rose has already kicked her out.
Rose just went over and kicked her out.
I think like
Before.
when she tried to before it's like Nettle, we talked about this.
Yeah, I thought you meant while the other two are thinking.
No, she just goes and just like No, I think Nettle has tried to make her way in the roses, and it's already been clear that she's not a part of the roses. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think Gira Sol is gonna go to the nettle or whatever, and just being like, "Have you had any sun recently?"
No, I haven't really had much of a chance to spread my leaves. My name's Annette. Nice to meet you. I just, you know, if I brush up against another flower, I end up hurting people, and so I haven't really had a chance to spread my leaves.
Gotcha.
Well, where's your leaf control? Where's your spatial awareness?
I don't know what that means.
Oh. Well, you have to understand, Annette, when you have a special structure like you do, unfortunately, if you're going to be making your way in a society full of flowers, especially delicate ones like them, you have to learn some particular extra skills to make sure that you are taking care of your community despite your extra structures.
Well, could you show me how to do that? Every time I start to stretch out, and she stretches out, and one of the peonies nearby, she's like, ow, oh my god, nettle! She shrinks back down again.
As soon as she asks, can you help me, then Dandi just like straightens up to full general height and says, Annette, it would be my honor. Report to the Dandelion Barracks at your earliest convenience, and we'll get you started in basic training.
She nods, starts to like kind of shuffle away, and then goes, sorry, where are the Dandelion Barracks?
Right.
That way.
Call this whistles to a dandelion.
Yeah.
Who's maybe nearby.
Yeah, a tiny little dandelion with like not even opened flower yet immediately comes over and is like, yes, Dandi, add attention.
Alright, Pipsqueak. I want you to take this stinging nettle and show her to her new quarters in preparation for training tomorrow. Dismissed.
Yeah, immediately like does an about face, starts taking off towards the barracks. Annette is kind of looking around. Rose, was there something that you wanted to say to Annette before she leaves?
No, it was just gonna be a comment of like, Annette, when I told you to leave the roses, this is not where I wanted you to go.
Yeah, you say that, and she's just like, okay, well, I won't bother the roses. I'll go with the dandelions, and starts going off with the little pipsqueak.
once she learns some bodily control, you're gonna have to let her mingle with, the daisies over here. I guess peonies are also very delicate flowers. I don't know why I had to make the euphemism. But anyway, you can't keep treating her like an outsider. You'll create a problem.
It's true.
Fair, but we must also make sure that we are blooming appropriately. And those sharp leaves can sometimes cause problems.
That's
But I'm
also
sure you'll
true.
whip her into shape.
Yeah.
You can count on me to do my best.
You can just hear a chorus as Annette is following this little dandelion of other flowers, being like, "Oh, ow! Oh, what was that?" Just kind of as she's brushing by them. But yeah, you figured out what was going on. The peonies also, I will say, Rose, are kind of giving you looks like, "Oh my god, I can't believe she was talking to Annette." Like, not beautiful. We're only supposed to hang out with beautiful flowers.
Don't you have something better to do? Get your flowers in order. Come on.
Bella says, "Oh, yeah, totally. Now that Annette is not in our midst, we'll be able to continue on with our day."
Mm-hmm.
What is it you do over here exactly?
Well, for the first few hours of the day, until the sun is in the middle of the sky, we primp ourselves and we moisturize. We fluff up our petals, make sure that everything's looking good. And then, of course, when the sun is high, we have to go, find some shade so that our petals don't wilt, conserve our water.
If we go with the whole routine, we'll be here all day.
Yeah, she's like just continuing to say pretty much everything of like
yes.
her routine.
Yes, you bloom very nice. Very good. Go back to your routine. Less talking, more blooming. It's your duty to look beautiful. Now go.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm kind of impressed with their regimen, Rose. It's a lot of dedication.
It is the duty of every flower to bloom beautifully and spread our beauty along the world. Otherwise, how can we call ourselves flowers?
Dandi looks down at her sinewy, green, sparse, white form.
I'm sure you have another duty, another way to be a flower. Anyway.
I think you're beautiful. So that's just me.
In your unique way.
She softens for just a moment. Yeah.
Yeah, what do the three of you want to do next?
I was probably gonna suggest going to the. I know someone who could potentially help, but I don't like that I have to potentially get help from them.
What's wrong with them?
They live in the shade.
Well, I'm sorry, Gira Sol. You're gonna need to buck up because we're gonna need all hands on deck to take care of this problem.
Rose is gonna kind of pat him gently. Maybe a little bit of shade will be good for you. I stare at the sun a lot. No, back down here. Back down here.
Yes. Let's get going then, I guess. We go to the shade.
Yeah,
I think we stopped dramatically on the edge of the shade.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do the Sam scene from Lord of the Rings where he stands on the edge of the Shire and it's like, this is not the Shire anymore. This is not the sunlight anymore after this point.
Yeah, the furthest you've gone into the shadows.
Yeah.
Rose is inspecting her leaves as one would expect their nails, waiting for them to get over their things so that they can move on.
About a minute and a half
for
of
daily shade. And...
Yeah, Dandy's staring at the shade as the wind occasionally blows little wisps of seeds off, scowling at the shade.
We're all just looking at the most important things for us: the rose, the rose, made to the sun, and then laying into the mission.
Dandy.
Yeah, the shady area of the garden or of the field is a lot of the shade-loving plants grow here. So there's some why can't I think of the name? Wait, I think I wrote it down. Hang on. I wrote down some shade-loving plants, I believe. Yes. So this is the darkest part of the garden. Under there's some pine trees here where the foxglove and the lungwort grow. And all of these plants who have, these names, even themselves, that sound scary. You take a deep breath and step into the shadow. And Gira Sol, I think it would be appropriate for you to roll resist as you step out of the sun.
Oh god. So I need to roll 3 or lower, right?
3 or lower, yeah, on a d6.
I just got a 2.
Perfect. Yeah, so you don't take any harm or anything like that as you step into the shade.
No psychological damage from leaving the sun behind.
no emotional damage. But still feel this weight of the darkness pressing down upon you. But the other two of you are fine. You're not.
Rose is like finally out of the oppressive heat.
And yeah, you're making your way to the hosta. Is there anything that the three of you want to talk about as you are on this little journey into the shade?
So how do you know this hosta?
I tried to give them sunlight once.
How did that go?
Bad. They didn't want any.
That must have been hard for you.
It was horrible.
Oh no.
I haven't been the same since. Oh.
Have you always relied this much on the approval of others?
My entire life, really. It was first my parents, then the sun, and still the sun.
I think your leaves are getting a little too crisp staring at the sun.
Yeah, you're walking. I think as you're talking, you can see that some of these, like the foxgloves, as Gira Sol walks past them, they kind of pull away from her. Oh, we've heard stories about this sunflower. I think you hear a little lungwort.
My reputation precedes me, I see.
You hear a little lungwort, which lungwort are really, really pretty flowers that their leaves are kind of speckled colors. I don't have a link to it, unfortunately. And they have little pink and purple flowers. Grow kind of low to the ground, and you hear a little lungwort kind of call up to a foxglove and say, the sunny one is back! The sunny one is back! They're all kind of scurrying away from you. But you make your way to this hosta, who, Gira Sol, you would know that their name is Halcyon. As you get closer to
I wish I was named that.
That's a great name.
As you get Halcyon.
Gotcha.
As you get closer, they live right at the foot of one of these pine trees. And as you're starting to come closer, you hear the voice that you recognize as Halcyon say, "Oh, hold it right there.
Oh no.
Gira Sol, is that you?"
It's I. She's trying to be more formal than usual.
I've heard that you were on your way over, and I hope that you've learned from last time.
Yeah, no sun teachings.
Yes,
I get it.
It's good for you. It's not as good for the rest of us.
She was gonna complain, and then just okay.
Uh, the hosta, which I can't remember if I put a link in the Twitch chat for the hosta, but hostas are leafy plants that come in a variety of shades. Some of them are kind of striated with different colors of green and white. This one specifically is like a kind of bluish green, like a dark teal, kind of dusty colored leaves. And is very big. Like, they're growing kind of like all around this tree. And is kind of leaves shaking a little bit as they speak. And they say, well, if you're not here to talk about the sun, well, what are you doing here in the shade? And also kind of seems to be regarding Rose and Dandi as well with like some curiosity.
How beautiful is this hosta in terms?
I feel like, hang on, let me see. What's your? You have a move for this, right?
Yeah. I can all things bright and beautiful, so I can determine like I have knowledge on all beautiful and ugly things, and when trying to identify such, you can use your raw magic increases by 1.
Yeah, so I think go ahead and mark.
I don't know how else to make it useful.
Yeah, go ahead and you can mark your raw magic up by 1, so you should be at 3 instead of 2 because you are trying to identify. I think by the standards of your order, not very beautiful. This some hostas do flower, this one does not. And but I also think it is up to Rose a little bit too, whether you want to try to think of beauty beyond the boundaries of what you've been taught in your order, or whether you're wanting to stick to kind of your traditional view of it.
I think in this case, with the equation of being so much in the flower field and like with being lots of blossoms around, she does not find this suitable. Yeah. It's a dark and kind of unnatural for her. So.
Yeah. And a lot of the flowers in the shade. I mean, there are flowers that bloom in the shade, but like for the most part, a lot of shade-loving plants don't flower because it's extra energy. But so yeah, you're kind of in this area. Maybe you think the foxgloves are pretty because they do have these flowers, but a lot of the other ones maybe not. So yeah, you're regarding this ugly plant.
Yeah. Like if she had an eyebrow, it'd be raised just like. Okay.
What about Dandi? Is there anything Dandi's wanting to do or think or?
Well, Dandi sees that Gira Sol is just bent over, like really depressed, really having trouble, and even Rose, she's noticed has started to kind of bow a little bit, being out of the sun for this long. Dandi's doing fine, obviously, but I think she's starting to worry a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I think she probably jumps in and she's like, "We need your help, Pasta."
Yes, I'm sorry. What was your name? I'm Halcyon. Nice to meet you.
General Dandelion of Everbloom Field. It's a pleasure, ma'am.
General, it's nice to meet you. I've never met a general before. Yes, what do you need my help with?
Well, we had a dream. He kind of looks over at Rose.
Very scary.
It was an awful vision of flowers being emptied of the field.
You all feel like kind of a cold wind in the shade as Rose says this. Yeah. And shivers the leaves of Halcyon. And they say, "Oh, it's reminding me of something. What you're mentioning, it's happened before. It's happened many, many, many times. Are any of you familiar with the concept of years?"
How long do dandelions live?
I mean, I feel like maybe Dandi would be most familiar because dandelions do tend to come back. I mean, roses too, but sunflowers don't. Sunflowers are annuals, so they will, re-germinate with seeds. But I think, I think Gira Sol probably does not know. It's up to Rose and Dandi if they know about this concept of years.
I measure time in blooms, not years.
A year, that's that's a pretty out there kind of concept. It's not really useful in everyday life, is it?
Well, it depends on the type of flower you are. I've been around for many, many years, which is an amount of time. And every year, the same thing happens. For some reason, the humans are drawn to this field, and they descend upon the flowers and pluck the prettiest blooms, leaving behind devastation in their wake. And I've heard the rumblings, although they don't always make it to the shade, but the rumblings of what they call Valentine's Day.
Horrendous.
That sounds horrible.
I just know my poor roses.
Oh,
They're in
have
danger.
The roses have it very hard every year for Valentine's Day. They're the first to go.
I knew it. Just too beautiful for our own good.
Rose, Dandi comes over and puts her stems on Rose's. I guess Dandy's pretty short, so on Rose's stems, it says, "I promise you, I swear to you, if anything happens to you and the other roses and the peonies, then everything we dandelions fight for is for nothing. And I promise you both, for you I fight." I'm gonna use "for you I fight."
Yeah. Do you want to read for the benefit of chat what "for you I fight" is?
Absolutely. Order of the Stone-Willed. You are only as strong as the ones you protect. For you I fight. Once per day you become more resilient the more you protect. At the beginning of the day, which, sure, middle of the day,
Yeah, that's fine.
choose a number of allies. We're going to choose these two. For every ally, you gain 1 additional rot point. So I'm a little bit more resilient.
Yeah, and also for the benefit of chat, this game's push mechanic, which is if you fail a roll wanting to succeed on it instead, is rot. And each plant has 2 rot points normally. And when you get to your rot, you take damage. But you also get to add a dot to either resist or raw magic, because it makes you a little bit stronger to have withstood the rot. But Dandi now has 4 rot. Before anything will harm her.
I think Rose gingerly takes the roots off of her shoulder. She's trying to she's very nice about it because you have to be beautiful on the inside and the outside, but she's just like, yes. I appreciate your defense and hardiness in these situations.
I'll help too. And Nita puts her hand on your shoulder, or her hand equivalent on your shoulder.
You have to reach way
Equivalent.
down.
Yeah, I'm basically crashing at this point. It's just to be at everybody's level.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yes, you too.
Rose, I know you don't tend to mingle with the rest of the field, but you're gonna need everybody if you're gonna survive this Valentine's massacre.
I will do my best to bloom beautifully with everyone. Maybe we can enlist the hopes of the baby's breath. I heard they go very well with roses.
Yeah.
For now, maybe we can get more information about this massacre and any signs we should look out for. Halcyon.
Yeah, Halcyon says, "Oh, they come. It's still a bit early in the day, I'd say. Usually afternoon, the humans come running towards our field and begin harvesting. We maybe only have a few short hours until they descend."
Well, what do we do?
Well, I've heard tell that sometimes the humans can be dissuaded by a strong... Well, Rose, you would be familiar with the self-protection that you have of the thorns, things like that, and some of the plants that have those kinds of natural defenses. Perhaps you could enlist the help of them and stand guard around the field to drive the humans away. The humans are very soft, so if they get injured at all, they may just leave.
Perhaps we could
that
also...
gives me an idea.
Oh,
Sorry,
go
what were
ahead.
you saying?
Perhaps that little one that we enlisted into the dandelion army could also help.
We should go talk to her.
Mm.
However, I think we have an even better bet. Have you ever heard of the... Well, it's going to be awkward. Have you ever heard of the Rambler Rose?
Oh, that wild one. She's not as proper as some of our roses, but she does spread, so perhaps.
Well, the Rambler Rose is not exactly what you call a social plant. So I'm afraid, Rose, that you're going to have to work on your flower skills if we're going to stand any chance of enlisting this very, very important plant to our cause.
You need to be more like me.
You need to be more like Sol.
Mm-hmm.
I refuse to stare at the sun all day.
That's okay.
Like,
That's just my thing.
personality-wise, let's just go. Who should we talk to first? Do you want to talk to Annette, or do you want to go after the Rambler Rose?
Let's go to the Rambler first.
All right, follow me.
Okay.
Halcyon, thank you so much. We promise we won't let anything bad happen to our field.
Halcyon. Wait, what did Gira say? Or Gira Sol say?
Oh, she just said, she just whispered, unless it comes from the sun.
Yeah. So Halcyon kind of leaves, shaking a little bit. Says, "I wish you all the best for the sake of all of us, except for, well, me. They don't really tend to go after plants like me." And you all are on your way back into the sunlight. And you're headed off to see Rambler Rose. And I'll say, Rose, you would know this. Rambler Rose is very much not like other roses. I feel like it's like not like other girls.
Yeah.
And I put a link in the Zoom chat to an image of what the Rambler Rose looks like. But Rambler Rose, also sometimes known as Multiflora Rose, is actually invasive in the United States, at least. And was originally brought.
Those are gorgeous.
They're really pretty, but they're like very, very hardy, like impossible to destroy. And they originally brought to the US for the idea of like having hedgerows, but they were like too good at it. So they're a very invasive species. And so that's why Rambler Rose is kind of off by herself, because for the good of the entire field, she has to be sequestered a little bit, or she'll just strangle everyone else out. So I think Rose would definitely know this. It's up to you, the other two of you, how much you would know about Rambler Rose.
I feel like as a guardian of the little flower, I would probably
Oh, yeah.
like help keep her in her space and not overcrowd in the other one's
Yeah.
spaces. So I
Yeah.
would probably be at least acquainted, if not amicable, with them, like necessary evil
Yeah.
assistance kind of thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about Dandi? Do you think Dandi? Well, I guess you do know at least of Rambler Rose since you were the one who
Right.
knew about her. Do you think you've had many run-ins with her?
Rambler Rose.
So it's like a Wild West.
I
name.
mean, I think that Dandy probably has a secret crush on Rambler Rose.
Perfect.
And so, like, is always like inventing legit military reasons to go like check on the border and like gather intel and things like that.
Yeah, it's like there's a meme that I love that's like, this tiny rabbit loves his gigantic girlfriend, and it's like a very big rabbit next to a very little rabbit. That's what I'm imagining. That it's like the Rambler Rose is...
Also, Rambler Rose is like one big organism with a bunch of roses on it. Okay.
Yeah, she's giant.
Sure, that works.
So yeah, you're headed over that way. And as soon as you're like kind of near Rambler Rose, she calls out to Dandi, I think since you've visited so often, says, "Well, howdy, Dandi. I didn't fancy seeing you today."
I was so hoping you'd use a cowboy accent.
Yes.
Fuck, I'm so happy.
This is everything.
God, I'm so happy. Hi, what do I call her?
I think maybe Rambler or like something like that. I think it'd be funny if you call her Rose, since there is another Rose with you.
Or maybe like Rosie.
That'll get confusing.
Oh,
Rosie.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think Rosie then.
Hi, Rosie. More official business to talk with you. It's just the reason I visit you. It's official business.
You're always so busy, Dandi. I mean, don't you ever get a day off?
Well, evil never sleeps, so I don't either.
Your Rose is like, please tell me.
Gira Sol, nice to see you around here.
Hello.
I'm keeping where I'm supposed to be. I'm not choking anybody out.
That's all right. And remember to get your share of sunlight as well.
Oh,
Very
yeah,
important.
I love the sun and her leaf. I mean, like I said, this is like a huge plant. And so like you can see all the leaves like in this area are kind of shifting. Melanie is shipping Dandi and Rosie.
Yeah, I think Saul is gonna like push Dandi forward. Like, go ahead, talk, do it, go on.
Well, Gira Sol, have you met, do you know Rose? Rosie, it's a really similar name.
I'm familiar with Rose. I can't say I remember if we formally met, but nice to see you all.
See you soon.
No, what did you say? Sorry.
No, just nice to see you too, Rambling. Like, very just
keeping your distance.
Well,
yeah.
Rosie, we got wind of a pretty dire situation that I think we're gonna need your help with.
Oh,
it's kind of a big ask.
I'd love to help you, but well, this is kind of embarrassing, but I'm having a little bit of a pest problem right about now. It's stretching me a little bit thin.
Oh, I see.
I mean, I'm sorry to overshare. It's just I'd love to help, but
Dandi casts around once again helplessly at the other two.
What pests have invaded you?
Well, it's, I can handle the aphids, but, they don't bother me too much, but these gol dang slugs are just creeping around, and they've made their way just all up in my bushes and my roots, and again, sorry to overshare, but these slugs are just driving me batty.
Oh, slugs! Oh, you enemy of beauty! Oh,
exactly. That's what I always say. Enemy of beauty, the slug.
Well, what fortunate circumstances, because we have, and she pushes Dandi even further forward, such a brave soldier.
Very brave. Soldier, yes.
That might be able to help fix whatever ails you.
Oh, Dandi, would you?
I don't, this is, guys, this is kind of
this.
on my, purview. Outside my wheelhouse.
Aren't you a warrior? You're always doing those loud drills early in the morning, like.
Yeah, I'm a warrior.
Yeah,
I'm a fighter.
I hate to say it, Dandi, but you're gonna have to get up real close and personal with me to take care of these slugs.
I'm so sorry. I don't think I can do this, guys.
We're right behind you, Dandi. We're just gonna.
You got this.
You got this.
Okay. Where's?
Go ahead, Dandi.
She's like, where is the problem area, Miss Rosie?
Well, it seems like they're coming right from the center of me, and that's why I can't quite get to them. So she starts to kind of part. She has these like very brambly, stems with thorns and things, and she starts to kind of like make a way for you to be able to to get to where the problem is. This is just a plant.
This is taking a turn. Are we sure this is TOS acceptable?
This is just a plant.
Yeah, that's good.
Just
fine.
Get into the hedge.
So Dandi takes a deep breath, and on the exhales, like shakes a little bit, and some seeds come off, and then draws her single blade of grass. Oh, incredible!
That's so good.
She draws her single blade of grass, and with one final look back at her companions, she proceeds forth into the brambles.
Yeah. Are you going by yourself, or are Rose and Gira Sol
I
coming
really
with?
hope not.
I'll follow. Just solid space behind.
I think like Rose considers it for a moment and it's like, the slugs leave her. Okay, all right.
Yes,
Gotta take care of this problem before it gets to the actual good flower.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The three of you make your way into the hedge of Rambler Rose, and I think that's a good place for us to take our break.
I did not expect this to be
Wow.
where this game was going.
I told you it's in my bio that I don't play anything but like lesbian stereotypes, and Dandi is
Fair enough.
nothing if not a stereotype. So
When I wrote Rambler
doing good.
Rose and this little part, I wasn't expecting it to get so dicey, but I love it anyway.
Very interesting. Where
So-
this
Gay
one.
flowers.
Yeah.
Flowers are pretty gay by themselves.
Yeah,
so
that's
you
true.
know.
What's more gay than a flower? We're gonna come back with the second half of Petal Paladins to see if the 3 paladins can handle this slug problem and the human problem. While we're on break, you'll be able to see more information about the players. And we're gonna be back in 15 minutes. So this is also a good chance for people to get snacks, get drinks, use the restroom, etc., etc. You know what you all want to do on a break. And we will be back with you in 15 minutes. You want to wave goodbye to chat, everyone? Bye.
Bye.
We are back, adventurers, with our second half of Petal Paladins. I'll recap a little bit of what's happened so far in a minute, but before that, I want, for anyone who missed the first half of the story, for us to reintroduce ourselves and talk a little bit about some other stuff we've got going on. I will go first. If you're new here, my name's Taylor, she, her pronouns. This is my channel, and this has been the month of love for Roll for Felicity. We started off the month playing OK Cryptid, which is a game where you romance a cryptid that my friend Tag wrote. That was a super fun game. We also had the series finale of Good Society Arson Farce, which ended with a wedding. OK Cryptid, the VOD for that is already up on YouTube for Roll for Felicity. And the Good Society finale will be up on Monday. So if you missed either of those, you can check them out there along with all my previous one-shots. And then coming up next month, I have a game of Basic Witches. That's going to be a sequel to a previous one-shot of Basic Witches. So same characters will be coming back for that. In the first one, you are going to get to hear the icebreaker question. I will remember this time. In the first Basic Witches game, the witches ended up taking down a group of incel warlocks. So we'll see what happens the next one. And then we're also going to have another game of Mouse Rider, which is, I think this will be the 5th Mouse Rider one-shot with the same people. And we've got our group of mice that are just trying to get home after they were kidnapped by a human. So we're going to see the next installment of that next month. So that I remember the icebreaker question, I'll say what it is now, and I'll throw it over to each of you to give your plugs for other stuff you got going on, and also to answer, even though the ice has been broken, we'll answer the question, which is very simple. Just what is a flower that you like, a favorite flower, or a flower you like to grow, or a flower you like to receive in a bouquet? Mine, I will say, is probably my favorite flower to grow. Would be either like pretty much any kind of lily I really like, and also columbine flowers I just think are gorgeous. They're so delicate and they bloom for such a like brief amount of time, and there's so many different like colors and things of them, so those are probably my favorites. But I'll throw it over to Joel. You can reintroduce yourself and also let people know a flower that you enjoy.
Oh geez. I'm Joel. Hello. I use they them pronouns, and I'm here to be the son child wingman to Dandi at this point, really. I am as much as I could just sit in chat and just watch that romance bloom.
So to speak.
But my favorite flower is technically the only flower that I know, which is this sunflower. It is my favorite flower mostly because growing up it was my mom's favorite flower. It still is, and she used to have all sorts of sunflower decorations. She wouldn't put anything in the kitchen if it wasn't sunflower. And so like it's close to heart for me.
Yeah. What else? Where else can people find you online? What other things do you have going on if you have stuff you want to plug?
So I'm most of the time you can find me on a Curse of Strahd campaign over on Talking XP. I play a halfling wizard who has an owl and has trust issues. I also that's pretty much everything. There are other projects that are in the works, but nothing that I can technically talk about right
Mhm.
now. So just follow me on Twitter at ZXShadowAzeXet so you can find out what my other projects are going to be once they're set in stone.
Yeah. Tisha, two dual questions. Where else can people find you online? What else have you got going on? And also, what is a flower that you like?
All right. You can find me at Captain Freestar on pretty much any social media. That's what I've been trying to put my brand as. On my Twitch, I do variety streams. I do a lot of art commissions for like emotes and overlays and stuff like that. So I've been busy with that. I technically am a variety streamer, but I need to get back into playing games once I find what next game I'm gonna play. So, but for Sundays for sure, you can find me on my channel for art. I also stream with a team called Twisted Team. We do streams like a good amount of the week. But if you're looking for D&D content on Monday, we also do a Curse of Strahd campaign, and there I'm a paladin, so it's a lot of fun. And a flower that I really enjoy is actually a peony, which is really funny that that became the other flower of my order. But peonies, and then of course, as you can see, like cactuses are my like aesthetics, so I have a lot of cactus like things
Yeah.
in my stuff.
Yeah, peonies are so pretty and they smell so nice.
so
I love peonies.
If I didn't have like the killing touch, I would have more plants and peonies, but I kill every plant that comes into my house,
Yeah.
so not happening.
Yeah, the struggle. And Lexi, what about you? What else do you have going on? Where can people find you? And also, what flower do you enjoy other than the Rambler Rose?
I'm Lexi. You can find me, I guess, if you want, you can find me on TikTok at intune again, in_tune_again. Also, I just want to plug real quick, Thirsty Sword Lesbians. If you've never played Thirsty Sword Lesbians,
Yeah.
it's literally the best system anyone's ever written. Just play the game. Buy it and play it. It's so good.
I'm hoping to do a Thirsty Sword Lesbians one talk because I have the game. I
Please,
wanted to do it for this
please.
month, but couldn't. I had so much stuff going on, I couldn't get through the rules and like get it, figured out.
Honestly, I mean, I made your flower game gay. Like, hit me up. I need to be part of that.
I will definitely hit you up. Mila in chat
Okay.
also I know wants to play, so we might do a Alexi, Mila plus another person Thirsty Sword Lesbian game because it is one that I want to play on stream. Because it
It's
is
so
a very cool system.
fucking good. God. Anyway, so that's what I want to plug. My favorite flower is also a columbine, because I'm a mountain girl, so like hiking up in like mountains and seeing wildflowers, mountain wildflowers and stuff, and the columbine is just one of the better ones.
Yeah, is there anything else that I need to say that I forgot to say? Oh, I will say one other thing before we get back in, which is you might notice if you're in chat, I do have a subscriber goal right now. For my subathon, I had a thing where if I got, I think it was 10 subscribers, I would read old journal entries from when I was like roughly 10 to like 13 on stream. I had a selection of them. And we didn't hit that sub goal during the subathon, but I decided it would be fun if I just upped it a little bit and made it till the end of the month. So if I get to, I think it's 30 subscribers, I will still do that. So it will be very embarrassing. I read one of the entries as a taste, and it was me as a 10-year-old being like, there's a story about a lonely girl who didn't have any friends, and the mean girls got the nice guys. The end. That's the story of my life. And that was something I wrote when I was 10. And there's a lot more stuff like that in the journals. So if I get to 30 subscribers, I will read some of those on stream, and it will be embarrassing. But speaking of embarrassment, where we left our story off, I would say slightly embarrassed Dandi made her way over. Oh, Tisha, thank you for the sub.
Figured might as well use my Prime.
Yeah, if anybody has Prime, it's free to you, and it helps me out. But yeah, we left off with Dandi talking to Rambler Rose, her secret crush. And Rambler Rose had to admit something embarrassing, which is that she is dealing with a slug problem right now. The 3 paladins offered to help her out and enter into Rambler Rose's thicket, I guess I'll say. It wasn't meant to be so suggestive thicket. When I wrote it,
You're
but
right.
Thickets.
it ended up
3 C's right there. Thicket.
Thicket with 3 C's. I didn't want to say bush, so I was trying to think of something else. There's nothing
Fair enough.
Can say.
Oh, good luck. Good luck finding something about flowers that hasn't been sexualized.
Right.
Yep.
So to just get out of the situation, let's cut back into the game where the 3 of you are rambling around, looking for slugs to help out Rambler Rose. And as you're kind of traveling in here, like I said, Rambler Rose is huge. Rambler Rose is a multiflora rose, which I mentioned is like this invasive species that was brought to the US for the use of being hedges. And so she's very big. And you're all kind of, traveling around and trying to avoid the thorns because she's a thorny rose. And I'll say, just for the sake of it now being as awkward, this part of where you are, she's not really like able to necessarily communicate with you because, she kind of already said like, I can't really get at these slugs. So her speaking parts of her flower somewhere else. Joel, I can't look at you while I'm talking.
Sorry. It's just funny, okay? It's great.
So you're looking for slugs. Is there anything you're talking about as you're on the lookout for slugs?
So you visit this plant often?
Just for tactical purposes.
This part of your patrol area, or?
No. However, this is a very important part of the field. I would be neglectful if I didn't make a special effort to include it in often overlooked. Is that a slug? No, that's not a slug.
Do you need to stop for a drink of water? You're sounding awfully thirsty right now.
I'm a dandelion. We don't need to. Oh, okay. Real freaking funny, Rose. Let's just.
We can go to the pond. It's really close.
Yeah, laugh it up, you guys. Listen, me and Rambler, Rosie, it's a platonic professional relationship. I don't understand. You always do this. Ugh.
Oh yes, I'm very sure.
As you're having this conversation, you're starting to get deeper and deeper into the thicket, and you're starting to see some... It's just a thicket. I don't know what else to call it. You're starting to see little pests and, aphids and things like that. And before you know it, you're kind of in this little clearing, kind of looking around, and you start to see the slugs coming towards you from all around. The thorns, and the stalks, and the leaves. And the way that you get initiative in a fight for this game is one of you plays rock, paper, scissors with me. And who wants to challenge me to a game of rock, paper, scissors?
Dandi was in front.
Cool, Dandi. Okay, so we'll go
challenge you to a
on
game of rock, paper, scissors.
shoot. So it'll be rock, paper, scissors, shoot is when we'll show what we've got going.
Good Yeah, there's gonna be a lag, so I'm gonna close my eyes.
Yeah. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, this is what happened last time when we played Succulent Sorcerers. We got the same thing 3 times. Okay. Rock,
no.
paper, scissors, shoot. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Come on.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. What?
Yeah.
What
Y'all
if
need
you
to choose
grab
something
the chain?
besides rock. Y'all have to choose something besides rock.
Thinking if I stay rock, surely Lexi will change to something else. You guys just go
Here,
first.
I'll count this time.
No,
I'll count
no,
this time.
you guys just go first. I think I've been defeated. Dandy, Dandy, you're on alert. So yeah, there's 6 slugs that are surrounding the 3 of you, and they look hungry. But you're on the lookout for them. So all 3 of you, the players go first, and then I'll go. And you can choose to use your powers at this time on your turn, or if you just want to try to attack, you can roll raw magic. Yeah, you can roll raw magic. And then when the slugs go to attack you, they will be you will be rolling resist. So I don't roll anything in this game, it's just all on the players. But who wants to go first? As these slugs are coming towards you. Yeah, Dandy.
Dandy kind of gets into a ready stance. She's small, but she seems to take up, she seems to command a lot of space. Just threatening a wide area. She takes her single blade of grass and says, "All right, get behind me, line up, and remember your formations. Let me be your rock." And I'm going to use Let Me Be Your Rock, which is when we get attacked, all allies' resist scores go up by 1.
Yeah.
So everybody's resist is now 4.
Sick.
Perfect.
I'm gonna turn to Gira Sol and be like, "Did we go over there was no puddle? When do we have formations? What's our formation?"
I don't know.
Do we form
pretend.
a line or a triangle situation? I can push you guys forward and I'll go behind. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just gonna kind of just stand there like this. It's ready to go.
That's a good formation. Okay, so do I use my ability and also attack, or
just your ability, and then on your next turn you can do an attack. But so Rose or Gira Sol, is there something that you want to do?
I want to use my Surrounded by Beauty ability, and whatever slug's close to me, do not approach me. You're not on the same level. You're ugly. Stay away.
Do you want to read for chat what that ability is?
Only things you declare as beautiful can come close to you. Twice a day, declare a hostile creature as your sworn enemy. That creature cannot approach or harm you.
So yeah, you say stay away from me, ugly. And the slugs start to kind of go towards your allies instead of towards you. And Gira Sol, what are you doing?
I think I'm just gonna I am Groot onto whatever slug is the closest. Just
yeah, go ahead and roll raw magic.
all right. I need to get a 2 or lower, right?
Yes.
That's a 5. Never mind.
Yeah, so you go to are you just hitting them on the head with just your plant fist?
Yeah, I'm bonking them on the head.
So you go to bonk a slug, and they're pretty slow, but it still is I think at the last second you're I do not want to touch this thing. So you
100%.
hit the ground next to it. That is gonna be the slug's turn. So, what we're gonna do is, well, actually, this won't affect Rose, so it's just gonna be the other two of you.
I'm so sorry.
So it's gonna be a bunch of rolls in a row. I'll just do half and half. So there's 6 slugs. Okay, so, Gira Sol, go ahead and roll me 3d6, and Dandi, roll me 3d6.
4, 4, 6, which is not
2
lower than my resist. No, 2 of those are 4.
Yeah, 2
So they
succeed
don't hit,
because
right?
your resist is bumped, right? From
Yeah.
yeah. So only the
So I take
you, I think.
1 hit.
You'll
Ooh.
so you'll take 1 hit. How about Dandi?
A 1, and a 2.
Nice, Dandi, you're just dodging out of the way. Gira Sol, one of the slugs starts to slime up your stem, and roll me 1 more resist, Gira Sol.
That was 3.
Okay. Yeah, you feel like, I think you know what would happen if you would not have succeeded. As you're seeing the slug start to climb up you, you quickly swipe away the slug slime, and know that these slugs, when they attack, can also do rot damage to you and start to have your leaves and stem rotting with their touch as they're biting you.
That is problematic.
Yeah, but you don't take a rot point because you managed to resist. But if they bite you, it's not good. But that is back to the 3 of you. What do you want to do?
I want to use like my thorns as like a thorn whip and like try and get the one off of Gira Sol.
Yeah, go ahead and roll raw magic.
That's a 1. So
Nice. You describe what it looks like as you kill this slug, because they only have 1 hit point.
So it is like I like it like almost from her stem, like this whip of like vine and thorns, like quick as a snap, slaps against the slug and knocking it off of him and kind of piercing into it before she like kind of like shakes it off and lets it go back in.
Yeah, off of her, right?
Is that the first time that that Dandi has seen the rose whip?
Yes, because she only really pulls it out when she's like getting the roses into shapes. The other one's like she doesn't normally fight. She's not a fighter. She's a beauty protector, so she's not so much like bringing it out other than like vague threats against the other roses to whip them into shape.
Yeah, so Dandi looks extremely impressed and like, well, not bad, pretty in pink.
It's red, but okay. Take care of the rest of these disgusting creatures. They're affront to nature.
I love how you just are playing like judgmental characters are what Rose and George had in common.
No, like
it's very judgmental. But yeah,
there's a difference between beauty and crotchety though.
Yeah. Gira Sol or Dandi, what do you want to do?
Dandi can go around and start slicing.
Yeah, go ahead and roll raw magic.
I have a brown die. Well, I guess it's purple. It kind of looks brown. I was like, why do I have a brown die? It's for this game. 6. I didn't want that, right?
Yeah, so 6 is gonna miss.
No, it's not, because I'm gonna take a rot in order to succeed at that.
Oh, yeah. Describe what it's like as you draw from like your own body to make sure that this attack hits this slug.
Absolutely. So we have our blade of grass, right? And we swipe out. I'm assuming that it just bounces off the slug because they're so thick and slimy.
Yeah.
So it just bounces off, but then she brings her other hand and she like, as she brings it down, a whole tuft of seedlings kind of comes off, and like, you can see a little tear in her stem as she just really exerts herself to cut through the blubbery, viscous skin of the slug.
Yeah, you get rid of the slug, but at what cost to yourself? some of these seed pods float away. Gira Sol, that's you.
I think I'm going to let my light protect others and force the closest slug to Dandi to lose their turn. But I'm gonna roll for it. I have to.
Yeah, you gotta roll against your raw magic. So you're gonna want to get. I think your raw magic is still 2, so you're gonna get what, 2 or 1?
Yeah, it is. I just got a 2. So
perfect.
I'm just gonna stand straight, close my eyes, and my petals are gonna begin to glow. And I'm just gonna kind of lean towards the slug and just spotlight on him.
Yeah, I think since I know your ability says they just lose a turn, but these slugs are so wimpy that I think with that attack it just fries the slug in the sun.
Fair enough.
So you are. I think
so.
there's only 2 slugs left, but it is their turn. So I will say, I'll just have one go after the 2 of you that it can go after, or that they can go after. So Dandi and Gira Sol each roll me resist.
6.
2. Okay, so Dandi, the one going after you, they're just slow, so you're really easily able to get out of the way. But Gira Sol, you are, still coming down from this attack you just did. You're gonna take 1 damage to your HP, and roll me another resist to see if this gives you a rot point.
That was a 3. So
good, yeah. So that does it. So again, you managed to not have any rot, but I think this time, before you even noticed it, one of your leaves, you look down and see the slug that's just munching on this juicy leaf that you have. But luckily, luckily it's your turns, the 3 of you.
Well, if it's on my leaf, I'm just gonna smack that leaf against the ground.
Yeah, go ahead and roll raw magic.
That was a 3.
Oh no! The slug is just hanging on for dear life. Poor Gira Sol.
I'm a protector, not a fighter.
Yeah, do you think this is your first time, really fighting?
100%. This is the first combat encounter of my character. She's just flailing around.
She is having a rough time flailing around, slug on your leaf. But Rose and Dandi, what are you doing as your friend is really struggling?
I don't know if Dandi wants to shoot first or.
Well, Dandi's gone first and then second. I think Rose should be the one to save Gira Sol.
Okay, I will attempt to try and whip off again. The next one munching on.
Yeah,
so.
magic.
That was a 2, actually.
Yeah. You're
so
just again whips off as soon as the slug gets on Gira Sol and hurts her. Rose is ready to whip it off.
So you have to keep yourself beautiful, and munching on the leaves is not a form of beauty. Leaves must be pristine.
Guys, get back there! Alright. It's just you and me. What?
We did great.
Yeah, one
We're not
slug
out of the
left.
woods yet.
Oh yeah, there's one left, right?
Yeah,
My
there's
bad.
Not out of the
left.
brambles yet. It's just you and me, slime ball. That's the sound she makes when she attacks with her single blade of grass. Hell yes, too.
Yeah, you say that. Describe how you take out this last slug after you say it's just you and me, slime ball.
Yeah, well, we're staring each other down, kind of circling a little bit. And then suddenly, in the blink of an eye, Dandi charges and the slug charges much slower. And as the gaping maw of the slug begins to open up, rows of slime slimy gummy material, staring down the maw of this thing. Rather than an overhead slash like she normally does, she changes stance and then pierces right up the slug's maw with her single blade of grouse, and then it's just sticking out the back, and she pulls it out, and her stem is covered in slime. She just wipes it off like a samurai and then sheathes, I don't know where she sheathes it, but she sheathes the blade of grass. Mission accomplished.
The slugs have been taken care of. You're in like this little clearing. There's these dead slugs all around you. And you feel like kind of a sigh of relief from Rambler Rose around you. And it seems like you've taken care of the slug problem.
We did it. All three of us together equally.
Rose is gonna be like trying to like fluff up and shape his her sleep, the like lead that got munched on. So I was like, come on, we have to fix you up, come on. And then she's just like trying to make it not look so much like munched on.
I've been praying later, ladies. We gotta report back to Rosie.
Ah, yes, the conquering hero.
The confidence in that sentence just disappeared halfway through, and I love it.
You make your way back out, and Rosie says, "Well, I can already feel in my roots that seems like you all took care of those slugs. Did they cause you too much of a problem? Oh, Gira Sol, you look like you got munched on real good."
Nothing the sun can't fix.
It was our pleasure to do our duty, ma'am. Now,
Mostly dandies.
As long as it makes sure that the slugs aren't coming near any of the others. But Dandi was the true hero.
I mean, I did what I had to, but we need your help, Rosie.
Oh yes, that's right. You all had anything for you, Dandi, especially after all you done for me.
Well, we've heard from Halcyon that we're facing down a catastrophe as a community, something called Valentine's Day. A bunch of soft-skinned, murderous creatures are gonna come in and try to pluck our friends. And Halcyon seems convinced that someone of your gifts might be able to help protect the field.
Well, you had me at soft skin. I mean, what else are these thorns good for than piercing into soft human skin? She starts to move and kind of, she's this huge plant, and she says, well, I reckon I can probably cover most of the perimeter of the field here, at least a good chunk of it, with my thorns. Yeah, go ahead, Dandi. Looks like you're gonna say something.
We would be so grateful.
Well, I'm grateful to you. I couldn't have done it without you, like I said. And if you wouldn't mind, please don't tell anyone else about the slugs. It's real embarrassing.
Professional secret. Swear to you, don't we?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Rambler Rose says, well, seeing as the other two said that you were kind of the big hero of the day, Dandi, I feel like I should give you something. And she extends a branch, an arm, whatever it is that she has, plucks, multifloras have very tiny little flowers, plucks one and hands it to you and says, I got plenty of these to go around, so just consider it a a sign of my appreciation.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Rosie. I'll make sure to keep it on me when the big day comes.
They always say
I guess it's that day.
They always say a general needs a kind of a favor to accompany them in battle.
Perhaps we should make our way to the pond.
I swear I'll do my best. Just shoots Rose a dirty look. And just tucks the petal flower into like some of the few remaining white seeds.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe the area where some of them blew away when you took a raw point, you can kind of cover that up with the flower.
Yeah. Patch the hole. That's perfect.
Yeah. And you're all headed back to the dandelion camp to meet up with Annette. You get over there. I think Melanie wanted me to include a beautiful red tulip. So I think that there's a tulip at the encampment who is kind of over there, and she's saying, well, I just have to say, I don't think it's appropriate for a nettle like that to be amongst our midst, no matter what Dandi might say.
Excuse me. Are you a part of the Abundant Hand?
Oh, well, yes, of course. You know that I'm a part of the Abundant Hand. What else would a tulip like me be doing?
Then perhaps you should make sure that your tulips are in order instead of worrying about a nettle.
Well, my tulips can't be in order if they're constantly being stung by an outsider.
Well, we've already made it clear that we got the dandelions taking care of it, aren't we? Or are you about to become an Order of the Stonebill too?
Oh, she looks like very offended when you say that, and she says, well, I can tell when I'm not wanted, and goes off in a huff, leaving. Melanie said, oh no, my tulip is a jerk. I didn't know what else to do. Tulips, I think tulips would be stuck up. They're pretty, but I think they would be stuck up. Always growing right in a row like that. Come on. So
Dirty gossip leads to wilting petals.
Oh,
I think. Oh, wow.
Hey, no.
I think as the tulip turns stem and runs, Dandi just kind of glances over at Rose and like gives one of those little nods that emotionally unavailable people.
Rose pretends not to see. Emotional, unavailable connection.
One of my favorite things to do in a tabletop game is to just say, my character didn't hear that. It's just like, I pretend not to hear. I didn't hear that.
To be fair, my character also didn't hear it. She's been staring at the sun this entire time.
It's so good.
Oh, Soul, back. Focus.
We're doing this.
All right, Private, how's the training been going? Speaking to Annette.
And I says, well, I've learned to control my flow of water so that my stems are nice and taut when I want them to be, and I can let them droop a little bit when someone's coming by. And I've also picked up on sometimes other flowers are not very nice, and so when they're not very nice, it's okay for me to stay a little bit puffed up, and if they get too close, that's their own problem.
She's a quick study. Can't always judge a flower by its nettles. Staring pointedly at Rose. Apparently. Good to hear it, Private.
The nettle is looking at Rose too, like a little bit for like approval, I think.
She'll just do a nod.
Like emotionally unavailable people do.
Like emotionally unavailable people do. She's very well.
The nettle like kind of looks a little bit more, confident with the approval of Dandi and a little bit of approval from Rose. And Gira Sol just kind of doing her own thing. The nettle's
Yes, she's gone.
not really concerned.
Yes, I miss.
So Annette says, so the dandelions told me that there was some sort of thing that was going to be happening today that you might need my help with?
That's right, Private. There's gonna be a battle, and I know that you are a new trainee, but as I said before, you have some special structures that apparently could prove very valuable. So, what do you say? You wanna join the front line?
I would love to if you think I'm ready.
Well, what do you think here, Sol? Is she ready?
I'm not ready.
Oh no.
Sounds like you're as ready as anyone.
All right.
You're obviously more ready than Gira Sol is, so I think you should be fine.
Annette nods, gives a salute. First nods, then gives a salute, and then is kind of like the other dandelions are kind of, whipping people into shape. And you can see word has spread fast with the other plants about what's going to be happening today, since you've told, different people about it and they've all been talking. Some of the other roses are also like on the front lines. Rambler Rose, you can see, has already gotten herself around the perimeter of like a lot of the field. She's, stretched a little bit thin, but she's managed to do it. Annette also goes to the front line and gets her little stingers already. And for anyone who doesn't know, stinging nettle, nasty to run into because there's all these tiny little thorns on the stems and on the leaves that will stay in you, like when you brush up against it, and it feels like, like an electric buzz a little bit. Yeah, not a fun plant to run into. But very helpful for what you all have planned. So she makes her way over to the front lines, and it's actually, as this all is happening, you hear the thundering step of humans coming to make their Valentine's Day plans complete, stopping by this field to pick some flowers. Where are you all positioning yourselves? Are you going to the front lines? Are you kind of staying inside if anybody makes it through? Any other plans?
Oh, I think Rose is with her roses. Like, she is like doing like this speech of like, listen, we are roses, we are proud, we are meant to bloom beautifully and then wilt gracefully. We are not going to be cut down in our prime and used to dry out in these humans' hands. So you are going to draw blood and use it to fertilize your roots.
Oh my goodness. So good. The roses are getting like pumped up and like kind of like, their thorns are like, very pointy, almost shining in the sunlight. What's Gira Sol doing to get ready? Where are you positioned?
I'm assuming HP is just if we take HP damage, it's permanent, right? So we would have to heal it before.
You're the one who can heal. Here's what
That's what I'm
say.
asking.
If you want to take your time, you have 2 hit points of damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to, instead of like going to like, buff up somebody else, if you want to head over to the pond to heal yourself up a little bit, I'll say you can go. Yeah.
I think before that, I'm just gonna put my hand or my hand appendage looking thing on top of Dandy's head, and then just point up and say, "The sun is with us," and then heal us for 1 point of damage each. You
Nice.
just gotta dragged the sun's power into me and then threw me into Dandi. And then we both
Does that
heal.
include rot damage?
It does not
it just
include
says
rot damage. Did you take any hit point damage, Dandi? Okay, yeah,
No,
it doesn't.
I think
only
Gira Sol's the only one.
Oh, I was. Oh well.
So
never
that's
mind.
why Taylor was offering you to just like have a hit point for free because you're the only one that took damage.
Gotcha. Then I'll still do that because it sounded cool. And then I'm just gonna go and heal myself for the rest of my damage.
Yeah. You can heal yourself. And yeah,
Alright.
there's a moment where you're like doing this, and then Dandy's like, I actually was fine. I actually didn't.
I'll just take the energy back and just use that to heal me. I'm fine.
Yeah, I'll say
And
go
I'm just
ahead
gonna
and
go
just heal
heal
yourself
them.
for 2 hit points. Even though, I'm kind of bending the rules a little bit, but this is a role-play game. And yeah, you
I can just
take
not
some
use
time
that
at the
ability
pond
again.
and your power. Sorry, what did you say, Joel?
Oh, the healing presence thing gives me twice a day I can heal 1 point of damage from allies, so I can just
Oh, yeah.
pretend that
just
I
do
use
that twice.
all and just yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll just go be a medic wherever I'm needed.
Yeah.
Just a
No, you
put on
can't
my
be a
little
medic if
helmet.
you already used your two heal points a day. I'm sorry. never mind.
Bandages and first aid kit are things that are used when you go to war.
That's true.
Yeah. And you can, I think you still have a use of, I mean, this isn't healing, but you still have oh no, it's only once per day. The
Nope,
life.
I am tapped out.
You're tapped out. So yeah, you're kind of positioning yourself to be ready whenever someone needs help. And Dandy, what are you doing?
Alright, dandelions. Today's the day that we show why we keep ourselves disciplined and in order. So, all together, who are we?
The Dandelions!
That's right. And what are we here for?
We're here to be stone-willed!
That's right. Now, we all have our parts to play. The roses, they're the pretty face, and the sunflowers, they're the beating heart of this field. But we're the razor's edge. So, draw your grass.
They draw their blades of grass.
Oh, did we,
Oh
I
no,
think
Lexi's frozen.
Oh no, froze.
Well, we'll wait for her to come back.
I cannot imagine Dandy giving that speech and Gira Sol just being in the back of the line like, yeah, I agree. What are we? Everybody's like, dandelions, and I'm just like, sunflower.
That was a terrible time for that to go out.
Oh, no. Well,
My
you're
internet.
back now. So yeah, you say everyone draw their blades, draw your grass. You're in
Draw
front of
your
the
grass.
dandelions. They all have their blades of grass drawn, ready to attack.
And then what you didn't hear is, let's get out there and slaughter some humans!
Yeah. They start charging, and as they're
Yeah.
charging, you can hear the sound of incoming humans. And a lot of them are caught by Rambler Rose, who is just buffeting people back with her strong, thorny branches. And I mean, the humans, it's kind of like they come up, they start to try to, get through her, and as soon as they get pricked by one thorn, they're out of there. They're like, okay, this was not as hard last year. But from your angle, you're seeing these people come in, being buffeted back. The stinging nettle is just standing as firm as she can as she's starting to get trampled a little bit by humans who immediately are like, ow, 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 what the hell? And just falling back as they feel these nettles going under their skin and staying there. The dandelions are charging forward. All of the plants are standing against the humans. And there's one human man who is just bound and determined to get some flowers
to
for
be a
his
man.
girlfriend. He
just
forgot
has
to
to
do
be a man.
anything else. And he's like, I gotta get to these flowers.
I cannot not deliver roses This is the third time in a year.
This is the only
it's Valentine's Day.
I'm on my lunch break. If I get home to my girlfriend and I don't bring any roses, I'm gonna be in so much trouble.
Third time this week he sleeps on the couch. He gotta fix it.
So he comes charging in. He's, got some cuts from the roses and, the stinging nettle, but he is making his way directly to you, Rose, the only Rose that he can see in his proximity. And we're going to this time I'm gonna play rock paper scissors. I need to see who I'm least on a wavelength with, so that we get something different this time. I'll say it can't be Joel, because every time I'm looking at Joel, I'm ended up cracking up from your reactions.
I'll tell you that it's a
No.
No, I know.
From your reactions to things.
Look,
so
I'm having fun. All right.
I'll go with Tisha.
This is fun.
We'll play rock paper scissors, Tisha. So we'll go on shoot. Rock paper scissors shoot. I can't see what you have. Hey, you win! So yeah, the players.
I figured you were gonna go rock, so I was like,
I was like, please do paper. Because
that's your strategy. Always rock, and you either win, lose, or it draws until somebody else plays something else.
Yeah, until someone else. It's like a game of chicken. So yeah, the three of you go first. I'll say you're all in kind of roughly the same, with the fog of war, you've all ended up in roughly the same place by this human who you all see going for Rose. And who wants to act first?
I am going to book it and try to trip the human.
Okay. I think that would be raw magic, to do it, because you're not necessarily resisting something, you're still trying to, act on something, so go ahead and roll raw magic.
Yeah. That is a 6.
Okay, so,
but I think I'm gonna take a point of rock and just forcibly make him fall.
Yeah. So what does this look like as you reach beyond the bounds of your normal ability to trip this human being?
I'm gonna just grab his leg and then go with it for the next step because I'm not strong enough. And then I'm just gonna draw on the sun's power and just plant my roots and just dig into the ground and then pull him as he takes in his step and just.
Yeah, you feel, you're taking on all of this power from the sun. You feel the seeds in your flower start to dry up a little bit just with the pure, sunlight that you're taking in. And this human man falls down. What about Dandi or Rose? What are you doing as this person's laying down?
Dandi rushes forward with a host of dandelions and says, "Well done, Gira Sol. Now let's leave it to us." They all start just jumping all over the exposed skin, any part of the neck, the face, the arms, whatever they can get to, and everybody's just using their little stiff grasp, just inflict as many tiny little cuts as they possibly can.
I'll say, Dandi, go ahead and roll a d6, and then acting in place of the other dandelions, Joel and Tisha, if you want to also roll a d6 to act as the other dandelions. 2, that's a success.
4.
So
I'm gonna take a point of rot to succeed again.
Yeah. So you that's your second rot point, right? Out of 4.
That's right.
Yeah, so
4
more wisps of your seeds start to drift away. Yeah.
Real quick, she didn't say it. Oh wait, I have to use a turn. Never mind.
Yeah, so you use this ability that you have to make this hit. Some more of your seed pods start to float away. You're looking a little sparse, unfortunately, as you're going into action. but you can feel the power of this flower that was given to you by Rambler Rose.
I was gonna say, is the flower still there? Good.
Yeah, the flower's still there, and you're taking some solace in that as your leaves and the leaves of your compatriots start slicing against this human. And Rose, what are you doing?
I think, like, initially she was like afraid, and she was gonna, like, she took maybe a single step back, but then she like pops and firms herself up, and she's like, as the only rose in the abundant hand, I refuse to fall to this. And then she'll rush forward with her rose whip and try and like slash at him.
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Stab him in the eye.
That was 5, but she's gonna take that point of rot.
Yeah.
As much as it goes against who she is, she has to accomplish this. And so her petals kind of wilt a little bit, but she still draws on that strength to slash that whip and, you know, really hit him where it hurts.
Yeah, it's like a very Beauty and the Beast moment with the rose beginning to wilt. The rose is on you, but you hit home with this human. He is already like kind of trying to get back up. He is going to make one last attempt to try to get a rose for his girlfriend. Rose, can you roll resist for me?
Ooh, okay. Hopefully that extra point that I have comes in handy. And it does, because it's a 4.
Yeah. So he goes to grab one of your like roses, even wilting, still beautiful, goes to grab one, and your thorns just sink into his hand. He goes, ow, oh my god, I don't remember it being this. You know what, I'm just gonna see if I guess Walmart is open. I don't know. He gets up and just takes off out of this field amongst just a group of humans who are trying to get out of the carnage, honestly, that you flowers have caused today. But this is one Valentine's Day where every flower ends the day with as many flowers as they started with. And what do you think you all do in the aftermath of this big battle?
Yeah. Covered in blood.
Yeah, the dandelions all are like cleaning their grass blades.
Yeah.
The roses look, you know, a little bit perked up as they've used blood for fertilizer.
It's good. Rose is trying to like fix herself up and like, you know, deal with whatever, like kind of move things around so the wilt doesn't look so bad. Like,
yeah, trying to fix herself up. Dandi is celebrating. Is there anything else Dandi's doing other than just blade high?
Here's Soul to go first. I want to go last.
Okay. Gira Sol, what are you doing?
Gira Sol is gonna just gently push Dandi towards the bramble rose, and then just go and help heal anybody who needs like first aid or whatever. Just gonna
a lot of the smaller plants have been trod on very lightly, so a lot of them are like, Gira Sol,
oh no, Jeffrey,
my
it's
stems,
gonna be okay.
my stems are bruised.
It's okay. The sun will heal you. Not by me right now, because I can't do that, but later by somebody else.
Other sunflowers in your order are coming to help out as well.
I just gonna find someone and like, hey, there's one here.
I think
that's good.
I think before we get to Dandi, I will have one other thing happen, which is that Rose, you're, you know, kind of trying to primp yourself up. And that tulip from earlier comes up to you. And she looks kind of like sheepish. And she says, Rose, I just thought I should come talk to you because I always try to keep a firm backbone. When I think I'm right, and I think today that led me astray. And I saw how much help Annette was to our cause, and I just want to say maybe there's a deeper beauty to plants than what I can see with my, I guess plants don't have eyes. What I can see with my, my normal senses, whatever those may be.
It is our duty as flowers to be beautiful inside and out. Think on that next time.
Yeah, she kind of like, you can tell it's like killing her to do this, but she kind of bows a little bit and then stands up straight again.
Yeah, and Rose is like standing up next to me.
Yeah. So yeah, Rose, you have that moment, and then
Feeling
I think,
very self-assured.
yeah, well, a little bit wilty, but you know, the tulip didn't say anything about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think to wrap up the stream, what's Dandi up to?
Yeah, so Dandy gets the little push, turns around and sees the blood being cleaned off the grass, sees the sunflowers, bringing everything back to light as the sun comes out from behind the clouds that were probably in front of it for the battle.
Yeah.
Sees Rose and all the other roses kind of picking themselves up and trying to regrow to become the center of the field again.
Mm-hmm.
Then turns around and says, "All right, I'll see you guys in a sec. I gotta see about a plant." And goes over to Rosie. You did good, Rosie, Miss Rosie.
Dandi, you did amazing. I saw you out there with all your other dandelions, and she kind of like puts a branch out to you and says, "Oh, but your poor seed pods. Is there anything I can do to help you out?"
Well, there's something I want to tell you. I haven't ever flowered before. I've only ever had the seed. I mean, I guess this flower's the closest thing I've ever had to petals.
She I think she gives you kind of a look and then says, "Well, I think I might be able to help you with that a little bit. I know my fair share about flowering."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She looks uncharacteristically like.
Go ahead.
She looks uncharacteristically like wide-eyed.
Yeah, come stay a while over with me in the bramble patch, and I can show you all kinds of things about flowers.
I think I'd like that. And then as she kind of like goes up and takes one of Rosie's many appendages, the last seed pod kind of falls away, and her head kind of starts to open, and you see the slightest peak of yellow at the top of her head as she fades into the brambles.
Very cute. What could be a better ending than that?
I see your secret flower over there. Like.
Good God. Oh my God. Flower Secrets. Flower Secrets is the name of my next lesbian romance novel.
Thank you all so much for this stream. This was so much fun. Before we wrap up, for anybody who's just coming in at the end, this time we'll start with Tisha. What else do you have going on? Where can people find you?
Hi, you can find me at Captain Freestar or at Twisted Team. Either way, I stream often. You can find me on Sundays doing art streams on Captain Freestar, or on Mondays doing Curse of Strahd with Twisted Team. And yeah.
Yeah, Joel, how about you?
Same name.
You can. I am on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
I also have a Curse of Strahd campaign on Mondays, which is incidentally not the same Monday campaign that
It's very coincidental.
It's completely different. Is just as good. So you should check it out. It's over on Talking XP here on Twitch. So it's fun stuff.
And folks, you'll have plenty of time to watch both because you can have them both up live to give them the view, and then you can watch the VOD of one of them afterwards. There's more than enough time for plenty of Curse of Strahd,
100%,
even if
yeah.
it's both on Mondays.
Yeah, but like, which one do you choose to watch live then?
Yeah, well, as long as a view's
Just
a view,
alternate
as
it.
far as I'm concerned. You
One
can have it
week
muted,
mine,
yeah.
1 week the other one.
Yeah. You'll catch
there
up
you
in
go.
between, like, which is
Yeah.
which.
Yeah. Yeah, Lexi, how about you? What else have you got going on? Where can people find you?
Yep. Again, you can reach out to me through my TikTok in tune again, in _tune_again. I'm just starting to kind of build up my content, so there's not tons yet, but you can reach out to me through there and invite me to your streams, because I would love to be on another stream of Taylor's or anyone else's. Hit me up.
Same.
Yeah. Yes.
100% agreed.
All of the
Ditto.
guests today, you can hit them up and see if they can be on your stream because they've all been model guests, I would say. This has been a great fun time. And as for me, you can follow me on Twitter at Roll4Felicity. You can also subscribe to my YouTube, which is Roll for Felicity. If I get to 50 YouTube subscribers, then I can have a vanity URL, which is, just nice. Then my branding can be consistent. And I stream Wednesdays and Thursdays. I play some video games. I do behind the scenes tabletop content, all kinds of different stuff. So you can check me out then. And I think with that, do y'all want to wave goodbye to chat and also anyone watching the YouTube VOD? We can say goodbye, goodbye.
Thanks for hanging out with us.